Adam, the White Hair Master, Episode 9. Weird Neck Pain. This all began from my lousy mouth. I had boasted to my relatives that I had knowledge of psychical, geomancy, and yin-yang abilities. I was able to solve the spiritual cases. I was such a good bragger so that everyone had believed me. Thus, I had to convince Adam to help me out that time. I had promised my relative in my hometown to sort out her problem. If I didn't help them that time, I didn't have a gut to ever come back to my hometown. Everyone had rumored my abilities to my aunt in my hometown. She called me out and wanted me to come to her house and check out her problem. I didn't have a choice. But it was useless. If there was only I agreed to help her, there must have been Adam to tag along, but he was really cold-blooded. He didn't take my situation seriously at all. Adam told me that he had lots of works to do around, so he wasn't able to leave the city that day. But how could I back home in the future if I didn't help one of my relatives out that time? I would have never come to see my aunt later on? I had to be bold-faced to beg Adam for help. I called him my bigger brother as a teenager, and I need his help badly at that time. I had to apply all of my strategies and tried my best to beg him for that time. After 2 hours long begging, he finally became softer and promised to go to my hometown with me. Even though Adam and I had worked together for a short time, I knew who he was and his personality very well. He was kind of hard from the outside, but deep down, he was very kind and soft from the inside. I had bought 2 tickets already. I happily showed him the tickets and took him to the train station. I was afraid that Adam would change his mind in no time, so I took him to the train station shortly then. While taking a bus to the train station, I saw Adam called someone to cancel his schedule. Adam said to Uncle William that he had expected works to resolve, so he would get back to Uncle William right after Adam resolved the urgent work then. Hearing what he told Uncle William, I got shamed for what I dragged him into without noticing. He looked swamped, and because of my unthoughtful mouth, he had to delay his work. I was so pathetical. We took 2 hours from the train station to my hometown. During traveling on the train, Adam was pretty quiet. He headed to the windows. I wondered if he got mad at me. I handed Adam a bottle of water and said sorry to him. Because of me, he had to delay his job. Adam didn't get mad at me. On the opposite, he told me that he could help me, but next time I should schedule first. Do not arbitrarily take him anywhere like that. Seeing Adam didn't get mad at me, I happily promised him that I would discuss with him if there were anything next time. Adam took the water bottle from me, took a sip, and asked what happened to my aunt. That was not my close auntie. She was a cousin of my mother. I called her Auntie Alice. I wanted to hint at him about how I related to her, but Adam didn't seem to care. He told me that I didn't need to talk about the whole of my family hierarchy. I just told him what happened to her. Then I started to tell him what happened to my Auntie Alice. She had a weird health issue. Her neck was hurt like hell from last year, and it looked like everything was getting worse for her. Adam replied that why her family didn't take her to the hospital. He always wanted to sort things out from a scientific perspective first. Well, I told him that everyone took her to all the big hospitals in the region. But they didn't found anything about her neck pain's root cause, and so, they all thought that was a spirit cause and wanted to find a psychic to help. Adam could see an overall picture, I thought. He closed his eyes and wanted to have a snap. He told me to wake him up once we reach my auntie's place. So I didn't want to bother him anymore. I also passed out on the train. We had a good sleep until the train officer called us out to tell us that we reached our destination. Adam and I hurriedly got out of the train. From afar, I could see Lucas, Auntie Alice's son, came to pick us up. He asked if we got tired all the way there. I replied to Lucas that my friend Adam was coming to help his mom out. Lucas politely greeted Adam and called Adam as master. That made Adam a bit ashamed. Adam wanted Lucas to see him as my friend and asked Lucas to just call him Adam. After we reached the house, Adam didn't rush to come in, but he looked around the yard first. I thought he must have seen something wrong, so I asked him what happened and what he had seen. His answer surprised me. He said that the place got good geomancy, everything was perfect, so the family members were supposed to have good health. I stepped into the house first and took Adam in. I could see my auntie at right stepping at the doorstep. I haven't seen her in years. I have heard about her neck pain but have no ideas how bad it was. So I asked her about her situation. She happily welcomed me in. I saw her neck lean to one side as if there was something heavy on it, and she wasn't made it straight. I introduced Adam to her and have a sit then with Adam. Adam started to ask my auntie, did she catch any unusual event earlier? Auntie Alice drowned in her thoughts for a while and faltered. Her husband replied to her, she had dreamt about her father very often. Auntie Alice was likely to recall something. She confirmed that she had dreamt about her dead father for more than a year already. He always appeared in her dreams weirdly. He told her that he was exhausted and painful. Auntie Alice's husband felt those dreams very weird. He thought that his father-in-law's grave was having a problem or something. But once he came to sweep the grave, everything was very normal at the grave. Hearing all of that, Adam stood up and wanted to see the grave. He asked if my auntie's family took us to the grave. So my uncle took us to the grave. That place was a traditional graveyard. Dead people had been buried there. There were just some tiny bushes around the graveyard. My uncle took us to his father-in-law's grave. Adam stood in front of the grave, bowed his head as a greeting to him. I stood right after him. And then Adam walked around to check out. I thought this must be a tough case for Adam. He could resolve everything in a blink of an eye as usual. That time, everything had happened a very long time earlier, so I was a bit confused and asked him if he could see or sense anything. Adam turned back to me and asked me a bizarre request. He wanted to borrow my shoulder. I didn't know what he would want to do, but I was unable to say no. He wanted me to be his stand so that he could climb to my shoulder to do something. I rushed him to finish everything quickly. I repeatedly told him that I wasn't able to stand it long. Adam stood on my shoulder and looked around once again. Then he jumped down. I comforted myself that after all of my efforts to let him stand on my shoulder, he would figure out something. I asked him excitedly, "What then? What did he saw?" We were unable to tumble around the graveyard a whole day. Adam murmured that there was nothing from up there, so there would be something wrong underneath the ground. Hearing that, I thought that we had to dig out the grave, but Adam put his hand in his pocket and took out something. He took out some pennies. Then Adam collected some small branches around and plugged them to the ground around the grave. Next, he put to every branch a penny. Then there was a magical event that happened out of the blue. Some of the pennies didn't fall out but floated in the air as if an invisible power was holding them. There were a bunch of pennies floating in the air like that in different positions. All of them gathered a weird shape. Adam said that something was covering Auntie Alice's father's coffin underneath. Adam guessed that it was a root of a tree rooting to the coffin in the current situation. My uncle didn't ever hear about that weird thing. He freaked out and asked what he should do next. Adam was very calm then. His face could tell me that there was nothing serious. Adam gave my uncle two options to sort it out. One was to cut out the root on the ground so that the underneath root could die gradually, but my auntie would suffer her neck pain in a year and a half more. The second option was to dig out the coffin and cut the root instantly. After hearing Adam's solution, my uncle didn't give the decision yet. He got a bit confused and didn't know which one he should choose, or he didn't completely trust Adam. I rushed him to decide. I thought he should choose the second one because my auntie could wait in a year and a half to recover. She gotta die to break her neck before then. Finally, he decided to discuss with his wife's family to dig out the coffin and cut off the root underneath then. That day, everything had been processed shortly by my auntie family. People erected tents at the graveyard and dig out the coffin at the good time as Adam suggested. They had dug the coffin out shortly, but once the coffin took out, they all were amazed that there was something there covering the coffin. Adam was right. There was a huge tough root rooting on top of the coffin. It was like a huge angrily anaconda curling on top of the coffin. The coffin was under heavy root for a year and a half already, so it got a sign of cracks. Everyone who saw that was very surprised and scared. They asked Adam what they should do next, how they could sort it out. Adam instructed them to cut that root out using a hammer or a clean handsaw, then poured some mortar on top. Adam told them that they should take his instructions step by step. Just a miss was as good as a mile. He carefully reminded them they shouldn't miss any step then. They had to cut the root out, dry it under the sun, burn it out in a quiet place, and don't use it for cooking anything. We didn't wait for my uncle and my auntie's family to finish those stuff. Adam and I had taken the last bus back to the city. After then, my auntie's neck got back to normal instantly. She called me and sent a thank to Adam as well when we were on the bus. I was pleased to hear that she could recover well afterward. I told her to take good care of her health. I turned to Adam and told him the good news. That was magical. My auntie's neck had been recovered already. But opposite to me, Adam replied to me very cold-blooded. He said that my auntie's family didn't have to find him for help in that kind of situation. That was just a piece of cake and could dispel by any of the local psychics in the town. I tried to convince Adam that he should teach me some lessons about that kind of case, so that I could handle it all by myself later on and he didn't have to take part in it. As a result, I made a horrible noise. Adam turned his back on me and went to sleep. I was scolded by a man from the front seat. He asked me to stop talking. I had to slow down my voice, or else the angry man would be beaten a shit out of me. He looked like a gangster who was very much taller than me and out of temper. However, I still whispered to Adam's ears to teach me some useful tips to use in the future. I have no ideas how the angry man could still hear me. He yelled at me another time to stop talking so that people on the bus could take a good rest then. He threatened me he would beat me up.